Gerke alongside with Blake Lumberger. It is a new week after a good sports weekend. We're going to talk about the Alabama and Tennessee game and just a little bit, and then NFL football after that, and of course the Ole Miss Arkansas game in the first place. But let's begin today with some NFL football, and the Carolina Panthers have lost again, Blake. They are now 1-4. They're coming into a bye week. They are what are they? They're 0-4 against their division rivals now. Not a good season for the Panthers right now. The last time that happened, and the last time they were 1-4, was in 2012, way before I know you, Blake. That was the last time the Panthers started this way. Blake, what are your thoughts? And tell me what's going on and how's your week and what's up?
Well, Jack, my week was great because I'm sitting here talking with my favorite co-host, Jackson Gerke, and I think you just made my week really bad by bringing up the Panthers. Jackson, they're not a bad football team. So what the heck is going on? Is it the defense that's letting tons of points go in to a great quarterback, Drew Brees? Is it Cam Newton, who refuses to answer questions after a press conference, acting like a big baby? What is it, Jackson? What's going on?
I think it's that, but I don't think it's quite as bad as you think that it was when he was in the Super Bowl, when he refused to ask questions. I don't think it's much similar to that versus what we saw last week. But I don't think it's just that, Blake. I think it's the defense refusing to give a lot of points because they're playing in the Superdome. The game did feel pretty close, but they refused to give up a lot of points. I think it's their defense that didn't play well. I think it's, we talked about this, Blake, and the Panthers just got their quarterback back, and still you're playing in a hostile environment in the Superdome in New Orleans. That's just one reason why they lost that game, but they did come up short, and that's what I wanted to say.
Well, Jackson, you're right, man. Listen, Luke Kuechly has to get this defense back together. And Jackson, I don't think it's for a lack of trying. And I think the whole defensive front and all the defensive players are trying as hard as they can. I don't know if it's the scheme they're running, if they're not blitzing enough, if they're too there's something about predictability of the defense right now that other teams are on us. They know it's too easy to know what kind of coverage we're showing and we're gonna run. It's like a chess match, Jack, and right now we're not losing. We're not winning the chess match. I don't know what's going on, Jackson. They're 1-4. At the end of the day, they're 1-4. I don't care what else happens. A win is a win. A loss is a loss. They're 1-4. They were undefeated at this point last year and all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna tell you what, Jack. You heard it right here. You can tell a lot by somebody by how they act when they lose. Who cares how you act when you win? But when you lose, you can tell a lot about someone's character. We're going to find out what kind of character the Carolina Panthers have because they're not winning right now. They're losing. And frankly, the way Cam Newton handled that press conference as a leader of the team is unacceptable. Jack, how should he have handled that press conference?
Well, you've heard it. Well, you've heard it, Blake Lumberger. I think he should have deserved this press conference a lot better than he was at the first place. He needs to deserve what he deserves with his team a lot better. He needs to talk about a lot better how his football team handled the ball very well, not giving up any points or anything like that, or perhaps not scoring their next 8 possessions. I think it was. I didn't watch the game, but what I think he should have
wait, Jack, have you already given up?
He should have deserved. His teammates should have deserved to get the ball to one of his teammates, but it didn't happen. And towards the end of the game, they had a chance, but I think it was dropped on a third down kind of play. He should have got that for the game-winning drive, but it didn't happen.
Jackson,
that's what Cam Newton said in his press conference.
Are you telling me that you've already given up on the Panthers? You just said you're not watching the game. Are you telling me you've already given up on the Panthers?
No. That is not true, Blake.
Okay.
I wasn't watching the game because it wasn't in my area, but I will say the Panthers shall never give up. They just need to learn from this and get some practice done in their next upcoming weeks. Although they do have Cam Newton back, it is only his first game back. I do think Cam Newton should be more healthier and get more practice with his teammates in order to win more football games.
Well, Jack, you remember that guy who once said, "Never give up, never ever give up, never give up." Remember that?
Of course I do.
Well, Jack, listen, I'm just glad that you haven't given up. I got nervous for a second that you've given up on the Panthers. I got scared. Good to hear you haven't. Jack, they got to win. You talk about last week was a must-win. Man, is next week a must-win or what? Hey, let's talk about, speaking of winning, how about Tom Brady and the Patriots? You want to talk about a team that wins. How are they doing?
Oh, they're doing great, man. This is Tom Brady's first game at home last week, being back from this 4-game suspension. And his team played a close tie one against the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Patriots and Tom Brady did play very well in that football game. The Patriots do welcome back the number 12 in the house. And Tom Brady and his football team, and Gronk Gronkowski is also his first game at home back, and which is his target. And his football team deserves a lot of credit, and his football team came there to win for all the fans at home and all Gillette Stadium and all Foxborough. That football team is the real deal, man.
Hey, there's no doubt about it. They're the real deal. They've only lost one game, and I'll tell you what, Jack. There's only one team that's left that's undefeated right now. Can you name that team?
Yes, I can. That would be the Minnesota Vikings.
Man,
and that team that was undefeated, but not anymore. I think it's now 2 losses. That would be the Philadelphia Eagles, my dad's hometown team.
Jack, well, they're not doing as bad as the Panthers, and I'll tell you what, there's still one team that hasn't won a game. Name that team.
Of course, I've got this. I got stumped the last time I was with you when I was trying to name my team in that game. Of course,
it's not going to happen again.
Now that'll be the Cleveland Browns.
That's right, the Browns. Man, the struggle's real. The Panthers think they got it bad. Well, it could be a lot worse, Jack, and the Browns know how bad it can be. Hey, Jackson. Let's talk for a second. We talked about the Patriots, how good they are. Let's talk about one of my favorite games of the week that I did not watch, just like you didn't watch the Panthers game, but I saw the results, and I'm so excited. And I'm not going to tell you why I'm excited, but, man, I'm so glad the Buffalo Bills crushed the 49ers and Colin Kaepernick. Go Bills, man. That's my kudos. My 2 claps kudos for the week. Go Buffalo Bills. I can never be a Rex Ryan fan normally, or cheer for Buffalo, but I'll tell you what, I'm a huge Buffalo fan right now, Jack. What do you think about that?
What, do you have family in Buffalo, New York? What's going on?
No way, man. Nope, not at all. I don't. Jack, if I'm going to be honest about it, I really enjoyed seeing San Francisco get beat. Hey, listen, I'm a big fan of our flag. I'm a big fan of patriotism, what everybody's done to give us that flag and the military and our freedoms. And I'll tell you what, you sit down during that, put your knee down during that. A lot of people paying a lot of money for those tickets to go to that game. I'll tell you what, I got no love for you, Jack. I got no love for you, man. Go Bills, baby. Go Bills and go USA.
Yes, go USA all the way. Those Buffalo Bills did circle that wagon, and I think those Buffalo Bills are the real deal, and they definitely did crush the 49ers bad.
I think they had I think they had a reason to play harder, Jack. I'll tell you what, I really do. I think they had a little bit of a reason to play extra hard. Hey, all right, let's talk about college football, Jack. We did a pick 'em last week, and I think we picked every team the exact same way. First of all, Clemson. Jackson, did you see the game?
No, but I saw the highlights.
Oh, Jackson, what were you watching this weekend?
Here's what happened to that game, Blake.
Come on.
I watched that game in the highlights, and what I saw was that game went into overtime. And what happened is that...
Why did it go to overtime?
The NC State kicker had a field goal, but he missed it. That went into overtime. Clemson had this drive after that, and then they scored. Well, actually, I think NC State had the ball during their first possession in overtime. They had their corners out towards the end zone and tried to score for their targets up there on the field. They tried to get him, but it was picked off by a Clemson wide receiver, and I think that's what caused the game winning drive, I think it was. But
Jack,
I mean, Clemson had. Well, first of all, let me get this straight.
come on.
Clemson had the ball first in overtime. They scored.
Yeah.
And then NC State had the
Fourth
ball
and
next.
one.
And then they tried to score. And then they had all their man-to-man coverage or whatever they have in the end zone for their wide receiver players who were covering them. So what happened was the quarterback tried to get his receivers in the end zone and try to score.
First down.
But it was picked off by one of the Clemson wide receivers.
First down.
And yes, it was a first down. And that's what caused them to win the game.
Jack, why are we going to the end zone on first down? Why do we have to get so greedy and go to the end zone on first down, man? And why is Clemson going for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and goal and punching it in? You know why? Because NC State's kicker missed a 25-yard field goal. That's why, Jack. That's why they're going for it on 4th goal.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, you're saying the same thing as me, and that's what happened. And that's what caused that game to go to overtime. Then they played overtime. And then Clemson wins in overtime. A very shocking moment if you're an NC State Wolfpack fan. For those fans out there, have seen a most ridiculous, heartbreaking game out there, especially on the road in Death Valley.
No doubt about it. I'm going to tell you what, Betsy Bolick is a huge NC State fan. She was at the game and heartbroken, Jack. Kickers. Let's talk about kickers. You want to know why the Panthers got beat? Because of kickers. The NC State kicker beat Clemson just like the New Orleans Saints kicker punched a 50-plus yard field goal in to beat the Panthers last minute in the game. That's why the Panthers lost, because of kickers. Jackson, we were right about NC State losing, and we were also right about it being a close game. Let's talk Alabama. Man, woo! Hey, we both picked Alabama. Were we right, Jack?
Yes, we were.
We always are, baby. What happened in that?
Even close.
What happened in that game? Let's talk about Tennessee, who moved way down in the polls after this thrashing of a beatdown. What happened, man?
Well, I think Tennessee didn't have their players, their key players, because of injuries, and I think Josh Dobbs played an okay game, but their wide receivers and their open wide receivers coverage blocked them, and he got sacked a couple of times throughout most of the first quarter and some in the second half, and Alabama picked off one of their picks after Josh Dobbs threw a bad throw. So what you saw in that game, and I saw it on Saturday, and it was a lot of that, and they got blown out very bad by a very good Alabama team.
I'll tell you what, Jack, for anybody doubting Alabama and their offensive abilities, a 49-10 victory, have no more doubts. Alabama's the real deal. They're number one for a reason. A lot of people thought Ohio State should have been number one. Let's talk about Ohio State. We both picked Ohio State to win this game. I'll let you pick first, as always. And so in some ways, I just followed your great picks. Jackson, Ohio State wins 30-23 in a very close game. That's why they're not number one. Both teams played top 10 teams. Alabama crushed Tennessee. Ohio State wins by a touchdown. Tight game. Ohio State wins. We both picked Ohio State. They beat Wisconsin. What do you think? Any thoughts on the game?
Yes, I do. So basically, what happened was Wisconsin played very good in the first half, and they crushed Ohio State before that stuff even happened. And what happened was that Wisconsin got some good drives and got some good field percentage, and you know what? Ohio State never scored a touchdown in the first half. They kicked field goals before that even started. So that's what happened in that game if you were watching it. But I was watching it with my dad, and my dad's grandparents went to Wisconsin, but Wisconsin played very good in the first half. Well, slightly in the second half, they didn't play well, but played pretty good. Ohio State, however, toward the end, in the middle of the second half, they scored a touchdown finally, and then they had the barely almost had the lead, and then I think Ohio State late in the third quarter regained the lead until Wisconsin fights back in the fourth quarter. So, but in the fourth quarter, Ohio State comes back after leading in the fourth quarter for Wisconsin, and I think what happened after that, Wisconsin had the ball at the end of the fourth quarter. They had their last snap drive, and then the game went to overtime, and I think Ohio State had the ball and then but I think Wisconsin had the ball first, but I think from what I saw in the overtime, Ohio State had the ball first, and then they got sacked. And I think Wisconsin played well in the second half or something, or in overtime. Wisconsin played well, but only got a field goal in overtime. But then Ohio State came back, and then they had good field percentage in like overtime. They were near field goal range, and then Ohio State scored a touchdown, and the game is over. Ohio State wins in Madison with Wisconsin on the road,
Jack.
and then they beat Wisconsin, which Wisconsin has never beaten Ohio State since 2010, I believe. So that was the last time Wisconsin ever beats Ohio State. But Wisconsin now is 0-1 against Urban Meyer right now.
Hey, and just like Urban Meyer said, Jack, it's so hard to win in Wisconsin. It doesn't matter how good that team is that year. It's so hard to win in Wisconsin. And then they proved to be true. It was a tight game. Jackson, we incorrectly picked 2 games this week. We picked Miami to win against UNC. They lost at home. And, Jack, I got to be honest, when I watched the game, there weren't a lot of fans there. I was kind of surprised. This is 2 losses in a row for Miami, who was a top 10 team 2 weeks ago. They'll drop in the rankings significantly again. And we also missed the Ole Miss pick. Jackson, Miami, can Mark Richt turn this team around and win the rest of the games this season?
Well, it's going to be kind of hard to do because you're losing all your fan base and all your fans that are attending that game. Like you said, they've got to find their way to turn themselves around because Miami hasn't played well in that game, as I saw on Saturday. I don't think Miami has a good quarterback or good offensive lineman who can attack you. I think Miami has got to do a better job offensively and defensively. Got to get the ball and intercept the ball as much as you can.
Well, listen, Jack, you're right, but I'll tell you what, they got a quarterback that's been there 3 or 4 years now. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on, Jack. There's more to that than what I know. We also missed the Ole Miss game. They beat Arkansas at Arkansas's turf. There's 2 games we missed that we pulled for the team that had home field advantage, and we were wrong in both of them. But we did pick Clemson to win, and they won as well. Jackson, real quick, what do we need to watch in baseball tonight? What's going on in baseball? What do we need to watch? I know you're a huge baseball fan. What's going on, man?
Well,
there's a lot.
Don't say that because my dad is a huge baseball fan than I am.
Okay, true.
The Cleveland Indians.
Shout out to David.
We'll go to Toronto, and I think my dad will be out of town to go up there one day to see a baseball game up there, up in north of the border in Toronto. So the Indians,
Canada.
however, lead the series 2-0, and they got to find a way to beat those Toronto Blue Jays because it's at Toronto, and that's what's going to happen for that game tonight.
Who's pitching for the Blue Jays, Jack? What's going on? Who's on the mound? Who's on the rubber?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I don't
I'm
either.
Really sure because I haven't watched any baseball much with my dad. My dad would probably know more about baseball than I would, who's pitching or who's batting. I don't know anything about who's pitching as a player-wise, but my dad would probably know more about it.
Hey, Jack, guess what? I don't either, man. But they're in Canada, eh?
Yeah, eh? Canada, eh?
Hey, Canada, eh?
Hey, Canada, eh?
Canada, eh? Hey, Jackson, speaking of Canada, and when they say, what's it all about, instead of about, right? What's it all about? What's it all about, Jack?
What's it all about, boy?
About, eh? What's it all about, eh? Jackson, hey, you told us about baseball. Anything else going on in baseball I need to know about? How the Dodgers?
Don't know anything about that.
They beat Chicago 1-0 last night. Series is tied up 1-1. How about that, Jack?
Wow, that's so surprising.
So we got the Dodgers playing tomorrow, and the Cubs. Hey, Jack, they're playing in L.A. Have you ever been to L.A. before?
I had one time.
Los Angeles?
It was about, let me think. I believe it was about,
A boot?
Wait,
boot?
Hold on.
About how long ago was it, Jack?
Let's see.
Was it a boot a couple of years ago? Eh?
think it was about 3 years ago. I think.
Okay, I'm sure it was for a volleyball tournament. Jackson, listen, we got to hope Nick Hill's Cleveland Indians win. I'll tell you what, they're beating them 2-0. The series is up 2-0. They get a win tonight, and it's going to be the real deal if they get a win tonight. They're going to sweep, they'll sweep the series tonight if they clinch a win, and then they're going all the way. Nick Hill's going to be one happy guy, and you know him, Jackson. You know he will be.
Of course I do. I remember this guy ever since I was in college. I hope he knows what we're doing now. As people-wise, he knows he should know something about BlackJack Sports now. I'm sure he does
if
too,
you
Blake.
don't,
I hope he does, and I hope people comment on us or whatever. And
oh, come on.
I'm sure it is the real deal, and I'm sure he knows all about us.
Jackson, if he doesn't know about BlackJack Sports, he's living under a rock, man. Everybody knows or should know about BlackJack Sports, right?
That's right, Blake. And we must get more subscribers. Blake,
yes.
When we go off air, you must subscribe people that we know that we have a BlackJack Sports channel. I do that. You do that when you go off air. That's how we do it.
That's how we do it.
On our radio show.
Hey, you heard it first right here. Subscribe. Click the link below. There's not really a link there, but you should. There should be. And subscribe. Jackson, it's been great. It's been a great day, and go Cleveland.
Let's go Cleveland, baby.
You know what they say? Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland rocks, man.
Cleveland
Let's go
rocks.
Cleveland.
All right, Jack. Great talking to you, man. We'll talk later. BlackJack Sports. You heard it first right here.
You have a great week, Blake. Take it easy.
See you, man.